Hello YouTube. Okay, today I'm going to show you how I faced really a minor annoyance and solved it with a ridiculously complicated redstone machine. Now, of course, I'm sure that when this is all over with, there are people who will tell me all kinds of cool ways to make this design more compact. And hey, that's great, because this is why we put those things out there, so we can learn, right? Okay, so check it out. I have this fence here, and it used to be that when I was running between my storage unit, from my storage unit to my AFK fishing farm, or from the loot over here back to the storage unit, that there's this nicely conveniently placed fence gate right here, and so I could just run through there and hit a button and run through and go back and forth. It was really convenient. But then I made this place really cramped. All right, I had extended my storage unit, and I put in this automated pumpkin farm. And so now when I'm running from the building into here to go to the AFK fishing farm, I want to go to that one, but when I'm here doing this, getting the loot, and I want to go back, then this is more convenient, and this is just silly. So I thought, hey, how about, wouldn't it be cool if I could make a design, redstone design, where I could hit a button and a bunch of these fence posts would just retract into the ground. Right, so let me show you how to do that. All right, so first let's have a look at finished product real quick. So here I can push this button and run across. Push this button, run across. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the inside. I'm going to show you exactly how to build this whole thing. But here is the design. Yes, it's ridiculously complicated, but this is not as expensive as another one that I came up with that I will show you at the end. Okay. Now to build this thing, first we're going to need to dig a hole. All right, so I'm going to actually build this for you again above ground just to make things easier to see. But when you want to hide this thing, you need a big, deep hole, right? So what you need is a hole that is 9 blocks wide and 6 blocks long, 6 blocks tall. Okay. So let's see how to build this thing. Whoops. Let's go get that block. Gonna need it. All right. So first thing we're gonna do is set up our tower that brings power up to the top up to the pistons. Okay. So because of the way that those pistons over on the left and right, which are what trigger the middle pistons to retract, because we've got to get power down from those, and independently we've got to get power up to these other pistons here to push it and pull the fence posts. Because we want those to not crosstalk with each other, we have to make this pretty deep. Okay, so we're gonna build this. Build this stack here. Oh, come on, give me up. Okay, and then we're gonna bring power up again. Okay, so we had to bring it down, and then we got to bring it back up again. Okay, and then on top of these, we can put our sticky pistons that will control the fence posts. All right. And just for fun, we'll put some on the end here. All right. So now, we're going to do a little bit of wiring at the bottom. Okay, so what we need to do is be able to bring signals into these blocks. All right, so as many of you know, if you bring a redstone signal into a block and power the block, and there's a redstone torch on that block, that will turn the redstone torch off. So that's your basic inverter. So we're going to use that, and this design maybe could be a little more compact if you used repeaters, but I've done it without. Okay, so I want to bring wiring into those. Okay. And the way I'm going to have to do this is I'm going to put a block here and a block here. And oops. And so this is how we're going to power those. Okay, and here and here. And then we're going to bring the power around, redstone dust around, so that we can power the remaining two. Okay, so by doing it this way, you don't need any repeaters, because otherwise you do this, right? And so you see that's not connecting, right? So let's connect those up. All right, next thing we need to do is set up a circuit that is going to power this, which will turn those off and those on, and by default, so that when we push a button, then we end up in this state. Okay, so let's do this. So we got a redstone block here, and I'm gonna start by setting up the piston on this side that controls this. Okay, so made a little mistake here. Need to put redstone torch and some redstone dust here. Okay, so now we are in the state where the fence posts are up, and you can see the mistake I made. Okay, so I'm going to fix this. So this is the ground level. So when we push a button, we're going to make these retract, and those 5 fence posts will be pulled into the ground. All right, so how do we make that happen? So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to put a sticky piston right here and a redstone block. Okay. So when this redstone block is pushed down, it is going to power this. Okay, so we need the redstone dust here. So this block gets powered, turns that off, and retracts the pistons. Now, there's if I were to put a full block here, put that piston on it, it would not work the way we want. Okay, so let's actually do that. Right, so I have a full block here. Push this, and you notice that that middle one isn't retracting because pushing this button powers that piston right there, and that's not good. Okay, so what we're going to do is put a half slab here, and we're going to rely on a bug-turned feature in the game called Quasi Connectivity. Okay, so now normally you can't power a half slab. In fact, you can't power a half slab because it is a transparent block. But, and you could run redstone across it, but when you do that, you're not powering the block. So when I push this button, I'm not powering this block. But the Quasi Connectivity bug is that if you have a piston and you power the block or even the airspace above it, then the piston will extend. But since this block itself is not powered, it's not going to power that piston. So I can push this button, and voila, right? So what happens here, I push this button, pushes that redstone block down, powers the block I'm pointing at, turns off this redstone torch, and then these turn on, which power these blocks, which turns those off, causing the pistons to retract. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is hook up the button for the other side. All right. So we have a sticky piston here, redstone block, and then we're going to put our half slab and our button. All right. So now we got to connect this to the other side. So we got to go. There's some crosstalk issues if I bring the signal too close here. So what I'm going to do is extend this around. Okay. So maybe I should do it from above. Okay. So I need to bring this out. One of the reasons you need a hole so big is we got to have a space here. There needs to be empty space here. Right. So here is here's the spot where when this piston comes down, it's going to power this. So let's hook this up. Now, in this design, now, normally redstone dust goes, I believe, 15 blocks before you need to put in a repeater. And in this case, the distance around that we have to send the signal is small enough that we don't really need that. But if you wanted to make this design bigger, much bigger, you're going to need some repeaters. And since the control is over here, right? So when this is what controls it. Power this, turns that off, piston retracts. So we're setting the signal from the other side. So you don't need any kind of two-way. If you wanted a repeater, let me get my repeater out. Where's my repeater? Here it is. Okay. Then you can put that here, and then this would allow you to extend the signal around, and you could have a bigger design. Okay, so now we have that, and there we go. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so now let's just finish this off. I like at this point here to use half slabs. If I use full slabs and I pull the fences down, then the fences are going to connect sideways. So let's see that. It looks kind of ugly to me. See how that connected? I don't like that. Okay, so I'm going to fill this with half slabs. All the way around. And then this is your ground level, right? So you can just fill that in with whatever you like. All right, let's drop me down to the ground. Push the button, run across. Push the button, run across. Done. Okay, before I end, there's a couple more things I wanted to share with you. So since we didn't put this in the hole, you probably need to know where the boundaries are. How is this aligned to the hole? So when you start building it, it comes out right. And so I've decided to put some stone blocks here. So right under here is one corner. Now, not under this corner, but next to it because of that redstone over there. That's where this corner is. Here's another one. There's another corner there. So right around where these hook up. And finally, this one is where this wiring goes across. Finally, I'd like to show you one other design that I had done earlier. This one's actually a little faster than the one that I built over there. But in terms of expense, in survival mode expense, it's a lot more expensive. So what we do here is I'm powering this piston the same way I did in the other design, but I'm pushing these slime blocks down. So let's go down below, have a look how this works. And what I have done, if I can get down there, is I have these redstone blocks attached to these slime blocks. So when I push the button up there, pushes this piston down, pushes these slime blocks down, it pulls these redstone blocks down. So right now, redstone blocks are powering these pistons. So when I pull them away from the pistons, then they power off and the fence retracts. And I have the same mechanism on the other side. So there you go.